The forehand lob is normally taught in 4 stages. Stage 1, which is the setting up stage. Stage 2, which is the landing stage. Stage 3, which is the contact point. And 4, tracking and follow through. The forehand lob is a very offensive weapon when used as a topspin lob. You'll notice that there is a traditional racket over the right shoulder. Sometimes people are on their back foot when they hit this topspin lob. The topspin is added on because the spin itself helps the ball stay in the court. The spin itself changes the arc of the ball in the air and sometimes confuses people who are hitting overheads. Remember, before every single stroke that you hit in tennis, there has to be a split step. The split step normally occurs just before your opponent hits the ball. So just as the racket is about to hit the ball, you send a signal to your feet to do a split step. The split step, the feet go out to the side, you land on the balls of your feet, you pivot from a split step. Remember, we want a split step because it's a dynamic platform. Here on the lob, I'm making sure I get underneath the ball. Notice that the racket face is getting right underneath the ball and I'm lifting it over the net and my racket is over my right shoulder. The setting up stage. The setting up stage is starting off with a ready position, and then I have a split step, which I do just before my opponent hits the ball. I have a body pivot to the side where my foot steps out to the side and my whole body pivots to the side, and then I separate, and then there's a pause where the racket gets set up and I close the racket face. Here you see the split step. See, my racket is away from my body. My left hand is on the throat of the racket. I pivot. Notice the left elbow is up high. I'm pivoting. I'm bending the knee a little bit. I'm sinking into the right foot. I'm pivoting on that right foot. My toes pointing to the side fence. I'm getting ready for this fantastic overhead opportunity. I notice that I split step and pivot. I've seen that the ball is going to be on the right hand side and I'll automatically get into position. I have a pause on that side because the pause acts as a time buffer. So as soon as I split step and turn, that pause is there is going to help me absorb some of the speed of the shot. Now remember, most of the lobs that you'll be getting, you'll be lobbing a slower ball, so you will have time to pause. Stage 2 is the landing. Notice that the racket drops, the body drops, and sometimes the left foot steps in. Not necessary all the time in a lob. Sometimes you're going to be open stance. Sometimes you're stepping out wide because the lob is a great way of giving yourself time. Sometimes you have to make time. Here you see my racket's getting below the ball. I'm landing below the ball. Remember, I'm trying to get at least 12 or 24 inches below the ball. The contact point. Remember, on the contact point, I have a firm U-shaped wrist. The racket is parallel to the ground and away from the body. My legs straighten to lift the ball over the net. I always open my racket face a little bit, especially in the landing, and therefore when I'm hitting the ball, the racket is slightly open when I make contact with the ball. I'm still brushing up the back of the ball, so I still have a lot of topspin. And remember, I have a very steep swing path up. The tracking and the follow-through stage, you'll notice I have a firm U-shaped wrist. My racket face follows the ball. My head is still, and I'm balanced. But remember, after the swing, my racket goes behind my right shoulder. I really want to have a steep swing path, so that's why I'm finishing up over my shoulder. Look how my eyes stay watching the contact point. I'm not moving my head. My body is staying sideways, I'm brushing up, and I'm finishing balanced. Remember, to maximize the amount of topspin and maximize the amount of aggressiveness that I want to put on the shot and maximize the offensiveness, the more spin I put on that ball, the ball is not coming back. More spin on the ball, meaning the ball path is affected and the ball stays in the court and it never comes back.